Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Bid Breakfast Bio. I am very pleased to be in the company of Heather Melton this morning. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning. I'm glad to
Good
be
morning,
here.
Rob. Sorry, Heather. I just went straight over the top of you there.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll sit quietly until it's my turn.
Well, it will be your turn very soon. So
I know, that's what I'm afraid of.
And good morning, Rob.
Good morning.
We already know what the weather's like in Australia, so I won't ask
hot.
you because
It's hot. I almost put on shorts today.
Oh dear. Well, maybe we'll just move on from there. Okay, so for those people that have joined us today, thank you for joining us. Hopefully this will be an entertaining journey into work for you. So Heather, first of all, I mean, obviously we know you, but for those people that don't, who are you?
I'm Heather Melton. I live in Spain. First of all, this is where I'm based. I've been here since 2001. So I've been here a long time. And yeah, that's me. I'm Heather. I work in tech. I have for the past few years. And before that, I think people saw too that I was a teacher and had my own company here as well in Spain. So that's who I am. It's hard to put that in a nutshell, isn't it?
Rob came up with this question because I started to do a very long intro, mainly based on LinkedIn, and it was okay, but it was very sort of professionally based. And then Rob said we ought to let people introduce themselves, and it's very interesting how people answer that question. Some people answer it from a professional point of view. Some people answer it from a personal point of view, and we had one person answer it from a spiritual point of view.
Okay, all right.
So that really sets the tone of who people are. I think it's a really interesting insight.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we know who you are. Where did you grow up, and what was life like before work?
So I grew up in North Carolina, which is in the news a lot right now. It's been hit pretty hard by the hurricane. So that's a bit, so talking about North Carolina now, I imagine it's very different, looks very different now than when I grew up there. I grew up there it was very idyllic, actually. I grew up in a small town. It was one of those, I grew up in a kind of lifestyle where, you left the house in the morning and when you had your summer holidays and, didn't come back until it was dark or to be fed and kind of just like we're on your bike and riding around. So I had a really good, I think, childhood, and that's how I grew up. A lot of freedom and a lot of great like after school programs and things like that. So I got into theater and different things that way. So a lot of things were nurtured in this small town.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take us to your first job then, whether that was, and again, this is a really interesting thing to hear what people think is their first job, whether it was that kind of job when you were 14 or 15 that might have been part-time or the first like real job that you had. So tell us about that.
Well, my first job is probably the most interesting job that I've had in terms of something that's a little bit different. My dad was when he was working was an assistant research scientist. So with finding or discovering different hybrids of corn. So my first job was in a cornfield. Doing something called shoot bagging. So it was cross-pollinating in the hot sun. So I worked in a field for a bit. And then at the same time, for a brief stint, I would guess almost at the same time, I was also a mascot for a dentist's office. And I was Dino, the decay-fighting dinosaur.
Wow. You've won.
Please tell me there was a little song that you had to sing.
I just had to walk around the mall with a minder and who had a bucket full of toothbrushes and cards, and I would just have to walk up to like families and ask the children if they were brushing their teeth and flossing. And you couldn't even really tell, you couldn't tell if I was a dinosaur or like a kind of like a frog. And so I just terrified children for a weekend and sweated a lot.
or George Jackson.
I know exactly.
And was that Dino, you say?
Dino, the decay-fighting dinosaur.
Excellent. Right,
Yeah.
right.
I don't.
This explains so much about me now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. I mean, it's unusual to find. Well, I've worked with many people from the US before, but they've always been from like Houston or New York or California. So, like speaking to somebody who is from, if I can say, small town America, is that fair to say? That's not an insulting term.
No.
What was the town called, if you don't mind me asking? Like
Kinston.
Kinston, is that quite inland or near the coast?
It's probably about. It's more eastern North Carolina, so it's like around an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half from the coast.
Cool. I won't go too
Yeah.
far. I'm just fascinated. And what was the weather like there? Was it a similar climate to what we get in the UK, or was it hotter, more like Spain, where you are now?
It's humid in the summers and it would get really cold in the winters. It's not as bad with global warming, all of that now, but I remember as a kid, it would snow so much during the winter that we had a backyard and with a fenced in yard, and I could step over the fence to go like around my house. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that sounds really cool. Well, the big question is, you're in North Carolina, you're Dino the decay-fighting dinosaur.
Where all the dreams started.
Where'd you go from there? Did you go to uni?
Yeah.
Was that in North Carolina or was that elsewhere?
Yeah, I went to East Carolina University. It was about 30 minutes from my house. Yeah, and it was great. It was every time someone from the States hears I went there, they're like, good for you that you even could finish with a degree. It was a huge partying school. So we, everybody's always impressed. I've met people and they're like, wow, you went there. It's so great. You could even get a degree because people drop out. But it was great. I did theater there. That was my major. Dino inspired me to move on. And that's what actually took me out of North Carolina as well.
Okay.
So that's what I got a job right at the very end, right when I was graduating in New York in acting, and went there. So I was quite lucky.
So you're gonna have to elaborate on an acting job in New York.
Yeah. I was an actress in New York for quite a few years, right after university, and which meant that I was also waiting tables. And so I did that for quite a bit. I loved it. I still have a really big love for the theater and everything around that, and anything with singing and dancing or just classical training as well is up my alley. And it serves you well, I think, even though it serves you well in business and in life, I think, working with others, collaboration, public speaking, that kind of thing.
Yes, definitely. So there might be a few steps on this. How do you get from actress in New York to sitting in Madrid?
Right. Whoa. We don't have that long, guys. I started one of my jobs that I was doing to support myself when I was acting. I started working for an NGO in New York that sent volunteers all over the world. And I worked in the office. I was their office manager. And so when I was doing that, I just started really falling in love with traveling and by watching other people doing it. And so I just decided I wanted to do it myself. With acting, it was the first time it had taken me out of the country. So that's the first time I traveled abroad. So I just decided because of that I wanted to start traveling. So that's how I left. I went to England and did a course. Met someone that said, hey, you should go to Madrid. I said, okay. And I went to Madrid and then I stayed. Got married and stayed.
Yeah, I can empathise with Australia. So Matt, I'll pass back to you.
Fine. Okay. So you've landed in Madrid. You mentioned the teaching business that you had. How long was it before you ended up in tech? And just tell us about that journey into tech.
Oh, well, when I first got here, I was teaching English to Spanish adults, and I was very kind of like ambitious, I guess, in my thinking. I wanted to, I enjoyed it a lot, but I had all these ideas, like, I want to do this, let's do this. And the company I was working for was like, no, 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 this is what we do. So I started my own company, and started doing it myself. It's still here. My husband runs it now, but I did that I think I started the company in 2003. And then I would say, I think in 2021, I went into tech. I've been teaching for a while. I had taught a lot in tech companies as well, and had met I taught a lot of developers, and I taught a lot of marketing people. So I had kind of that interest anyway, and I was really interested in technology. As you guys know, you wear all the hats in a business when it's yours. And so I had, just enough knowledge to be dangerous in marketing and sales and everything, really, and customer success, even though that's not what we called it. We didn't even know what that was, but it's kind of, you have to do everything, don't you? You just have to wear all the hats. So yeah, so that's what I did. I kind of went ahead and just from that decided I wanted something new, wanted something that was a change. And at the young age of 49, decided to change careers. My husband is fantastic, and he said, yeah, I'll run the company. He was already doing it with me, and I applied and went into tech.
Fantastic. Is the company you work for now the company that you started with?
No. I started with a company that now doesn't exist.
Okay.
It's been bought. It was bought, and it's now another company. I started with Poppin. I believe now it's Ring Central. And I started as a business development representative. And so that's how I started out. But I will say that my boss at the company I'm at who was my first account executive that I was building pipeline for in my first company. And that's how I came to Altura. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So you're at Altura now, as you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Where did you start at Altura, and just take us through that sort of, I guess, 3 years, maybe 2 years?
Yeah, no, I've been in Altura. There was a company in between called Vavio. So I worked in compensation benchmarking as well, a company out of London. And that was great. And I was an account executive there. So I went to account executive at that company. I started at Altura as an account executive. I started helping them build pipeline, though, in Benelux, so in the Netherlands and Belgium mainly. And because it was a company that had been has a presence already in the Dutch market, but they were planning on building one in the UK market. So I've been a part of that. And so that journey, as I've been an account executive there, then my kind of just was shifting more into go to market, doing a little bit of everything. And then now I work with partnerships and community for Altura.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So, and you mentioned building pipeline a couple of times now, which is obviously key to what your customers do. And obviously a lot of people that are watching this will be bidders or buyers maybe. Do you want to just tell us a little bit how your sort of experience over the last 20 odd years has helped you in what you do now? So wearing all the hats in business, building pipeline, or because that's similar to me and Robin, that we've got all those bits of knowledge and, as you say, know enough to be dangerous, but also it's enough to be insightful and help people.
Yeah, I think one of the key things I realized is that from teaching, I mean, my job was to listen, to make sure that I understood, and that and to really listen so that I could carry on and could carry on the conversation or make sure that there was understanding. And I think that that's something that served me well with customers, is that I try to really listen to what they need and what they want. And it's not always exactly what I want them to want or need, but kind of realizing that it's not if it's not the time, it's not the time, and you move on.
Mm.
I think that I brought in that I'm not very, I don't like being pushed, so I don't like being pushy. And so either, so I kind of, meet people, maybe it's not the right moment, but I just stay in touch with people. I like people. I like building relationships, even if it doesn't lead to anything. I think everyone has something to share and to, that you can learn from. So I kind of like that. So that's kind of my approach to sales, is just, trying to be as human as possible and keeping the whole experience human.
I think that's really important. I think in everything we do. I'm a big believer, and I'm probably taking this from a negative point of view, but I'm a big believer in not burning bridges. No matter how difficult somebody might be, you may have caught them at the wrong moment. It may be a difficult situation for them, so it's always worth keeping in touch and keeping positive. Unbelievably, Heather, I am actually a very positive person.
I think you are.
Come across. But the glass is half full, I suppose, rather than the other way around. I've really enjoyed your webinar series that you've been doing recently. Just want to tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it was for a couple of reasons. So one was that kind of like about the human element as well. The first thing is that I'm new to this world, to bid management, and I wanted to learn as much as possible. And then when I was talking to people, I realized a lot of people still, even if they're working in the sector, still have lots of questions themselves. So that was one thing that I thought, well, while I'm learning, I might as well share it, and then other people can learn as well. Also, I didn't like coming at, it felt too, I started with partnerships and started working with partners like you guys. And I realized that, there's so many bits of knowledge and things that people can share. And it also gives other people a forum to share what they want to share about their knowledge. And everyone has something that they specialize in. So that's the reason I started it. Also, just to kind of like introduce myself to the community, just to say, hi, I'm here kind of thing. And hopefully that they liked what they were seeing, and maybe that made them interested in Altura then and wanted to reach out and talk to me as well.
Definitely. No, it's been really good. It's been nice hearing different voices and different opinions on it, because I think, me and Matt would admit, I'd admit at least that we don't know everything. I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely. I'm happy to admit I don't know everything.
But that's, I think that's a really good place to be, rather than thinking you know everything. Away from work, what? Oh, well, I think I already know the answer to this question.
I know you don't want to even ask it, do you?
You know what? Here you go. You've got a couple of minutes. You can talk about golf with Matt. I was going to say, what do you do outside of work for fun? Including golf, but also anything else.
Nice steer, Rob. Nice trying to get us off the topic. So I do like golf. I love reading, walking, hanging out with friends, going out, food. I love, all of those common things. I tried to get into sewing at one point, and all I did was do, I think, a master's basically in sewing. I read so much and watched so many videos and never really sewed anything. So I tried to get another hobby, but it's pretty standard, I think, hobbies.
Well, you're in a good place for food. I haven't been to Madrid, but I have been to Spain a few times.
But I'm not in Madrid now. Now I'm near the coast. It's all sunshine and palm trees now.
But the food's still good, I guess.
Yeah, it's really great.
Are you north, south, east, west?
I'm about 45 minutes south of Alicante.
So warm.
Yeah, it's warmish, yeah.
Yeah. Good seafood?
Yeah, but they always say that what they do is all the coastal towns, all they do is ship all their great seafood to Madrid. So there's always that thing about it. it's not as easy to find really nice seafood as it is sometimes in Madrid, actually, because I lived there for years.
Okay, cool. I'll pass back to Matt before I go into seafood, and feel free to ask about golf. If the viewers don't know, I do not like golf.
Well, maybe fishing is the next hobby for you, Heather.
Fishing.
Yes.
Oh,
your own seafood.
I could do, but I just don't think I did it when I was a kid, and I can't imagine like taking a hook out of a fish or doing all that now. I don't think that's in my cards. I think I'm more of a sit down, let someone bring it to me, find a girl.
Okay. So you've sort of talked about various things and given us insights into things that you've done, but what's the project or the thing that you are most proud of?
Wow. I think it has to be the company I started in Spain. I think it has to be that I'm a big, I'm not the kind of person you say, no, you can't do this. I'm not that. And so I think that I was in a foreign country. I didn't speak Spanish before I moved here. And I think that starting your own business and it being successful and still being around, so many of the language schools that closed during COVID, so many closed down, and we actually we improved, we took everyone online. And so I think that first bit of legacy, I feel of what I've done is, I think that's probably what I'm the most proud of.
Yeah.
And then along with people telling me you can never do tech and work in tech. And then so moving on into that as well. Yeah.
It's really interesting. We might come to this in a bit, but there's very recently, and I guess it's just by chance, I've met quite a few women who have moved into tech, which I think back to 20, 30 years ago, you probably wouldn't have seen that. Although 20, 30 years ago, tech was not what it is now. So. But maybe we'll touch on that in a bit. But so just moving on from that, what's influenced your life the most, or who has influenced your life the most?
I would probably say that what's influenced my life the most is moving to Spain. Right. It's probably been the biggest, that moment when you think of that fork in the road, the two things you could have done. And when I chose to come to Spain, I was sitting in London. I had also been offered a job in Brazil. And so I was trying to decide where to go, and I came here. And then it brings me to probably the person who has influenced my life the most is my husband. So, it's a, when you meet like someone who, not to be too sappy, but it's, is your best friend and kind of like always supports you and thinks you're the great, and you never have too many ideas and things like that. It's just when you have that kind of support, it's life-changing, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you're the first person who's probably said their husband or wife.
Really?
I think so. Yeah, because people usually go back to like a parent or a I don't know, Ralph Fiennes or
Ralph Fiennes, okay.
Or somebody like a celebrity or whatever. So no, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll just throw one more in there, Rob, and then I'll hand back to you, because this is probably my favourite question, which is we've heard about all the upside of life, but let's have a quick couple of minutes on the downside. So what's the biggest mistake you've made in your career or life, and what did you learn from it?
I think probably it's one that I'm still learning from, that I still continuously do. And I think a lot of people are probably feel the same. I think that I find it hard that every time I go into a new role or something, a new place, I kind of forget everything that I've done before, like everything, all the accomplishments, everything that I've been able to do. And I just concentrate on, this person knows more than me. So this is, I'm so far behind. I need to learn more. And some good things come out of it. Like I go, okay, I'm going to start a webinar so I can learn. But there's also a lot of, it also holds you back a little bit because you kind of second guess yourself or things like that. So I think each time I go into a new situation, I have that immediate reaction. And then I think, oh, well, it gets quicker, that change each time. I think that's what's happening. And you go, hey, pull it together. You've done this, this, and this. You know how to do this. So, put on your big girl pants and get in there.
That's really interesting. I can't remember exactly when I read this, but sometime in the last 10 years or something. But there was a piece of research about men and women and how they apply for jobs. And as a sort of general statement, men applied for jobs that they could probably half do and blagged their way into the job, whereas women tended to apply for jobs that they knew they could do. So they had all the knowledge, they had all the skills and everything. Whereas men would just kind of make up a whole load of stuff and just think, I'll work it out when I get there. And I thought that's exactly what I've done through my career. Is think, I can do most of that job, and then I'll learn the rest as I go in. And that is really interesting. Anyway,
yeah, I've seen that too. I've seen that because I worked at Ravia, the benchmarking tool, and we talked a lot about that and how women, so it was that same kind of thing. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I've never blagged my way into a job that I had almost no knowledge. Oh, I'm a bid writer. There we go. That's how it happened. So, yeah, obviously learning is very important to you, Heather, because obviously with the company you've set up, but you also seem to want to just know things. And I know that sounds obvious that people would want to do that, but it's amazing, I think. I think when you hit middle age, and I can say I'm middle aged now, unfortunately, I can't even pretend I'm young.
Who are you calling middle aged?
Sorry, old. I'm talking to Matt.
Oh, I felt Matt. Can you mute him?
We can kick him out of the studio. Don't worry about that. I get this all the time.
But there was a point. Is that I think
let's have a new webinar series, Heather.
We'll band together.
Is that I think a lot of people just stop wanting to learn, or they feel they can't learn anymore. Did you think that's something you'll always have? And is it just kind of work related you're learning, or is it kind of just anything that you can get your head stuck into?
It's anything. And I love things about learning about science, which I have no plans to move into science, or, just like random facts that I just like to know that, I love, it's like the same thing. I love pub quizzes. I love, we watch University Challenge and things and all of those, just because you learn so much. Yeah, I don't think it's anything that'll ever change. I think it's who I am. I think it's how I like to move through this world, is asking questions. And I'm not one to just kind of nod when someone's talking. If I don't understand something, I kind of want to dive in and say, what does that mean if I don't understand?
I like this next question, although I might dread the answer. Where is your happy place? And I was going to say, what golf course is it? But
okay, well, okay. So I have several happy places because you have to diversify. But one of them I'm really lucky is where I live now. I love where I live in Spain. It's like, when you work in tech, it's a very stressful job. And it's something that it kind of went hand in hand when I moved to the coast. But there is something about being able to walk out and see blue skies and palm trees. And everyone here is like retirement age. So everybody is like happy because they're like on holiday. And it kind of just takes you out of that moment you have with work sometimes instantly when you walk outside. So I would definitely say where I live is one of my happy places. Golf courses in general, I really love. They're beautiful, especially if they're laid. I like the ones that are laid out very expansive. Like, I love feeling like for the amount of time you've rented that space for, that you and your friends or your family, or you're the only ones there to enjoy that moment of beauty. So I really like that as well. And it teaches you a lot about life. Matt and I've talked about this as well.
Oh, yes.
Well, Matt, I'll pass back to you for the end, Matt, because I think we're probably coming towards, or we don't have to be.
No,
You're sick of me, Rob. He's called me old and said, "Get out of here. You're gone."
That'll happen to me one day.
Well, I mean, it is 9 o'clock, and I guess we probably ought to bring it to an end, even though I could talk to you for at least another half an hour.
We'll have to bring Heather back for a part two.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Heather part two. Because what I did do whilst we've been talking is to look on IMDb to see if you've been in any films with your acting career. There's only one Heather Melton listed on IMDb, and it was a film with although there's a look of horror now.
It's like, don't Google yourself, and definitely don't get someone to Google you live. No, what is it?
I think it was the Bad Valentine. I think.
No, it wasn't me.
No, that's 2011.
2011.
Anyway,
no, she's way too old for that. No, I did more theater. I didn't really do film. I did some extra work, but I did more theater.
Right. Okay. So now we've got part two booked in. Let's go to our final question. Which is, what is your top tip or tips for people watching, either in life or in business?
I think it's, I don't know, it sounds really cheesy, but stay curious, always be curious. I think that's something that's really great for life and business. And then I think also, just always remember what you can bring to the table. Always remember that, you're a unique value and in business, and realize that, there's no one else like you. There's no one else out there like you, and capitalize on those qualities and use those in your job as much as possible.
I think that's a very, very wise tip. And that's one of those, I was just thinking through it then, actually, is that there's a lot to reflect on there. And there's probably quite a few things to take away and think about from that. So, thank you for that. Right. We should bring it to a close there. We're just a couple of minutes over time, but thank you for those people that have joined us today, as always. Heather, thank you for joining us. It's been very insightful, very interesting. And I think I probably laughed the most on, even though there's been lots of other laughter moments on other webinars, I've really enjoyed this one. So thank you.
Thanks. I did too. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. It's been a real pleasure. Rob, I will no doubt talk to you in a few minutes, but as always, thank you for being here and providing the Australian weather update to depress us all. On that happy note, we'll be back next Wednesday with the Q&A, so feel free to throw questions over on email or LinkedIn. We'll address all of those on Wednesday, and in a fortnight's time, we will be back with another Bid Breakfast Bio. So have a great day and see you all then.